Hello students, welcome back. Today onwards we will discuss competitive means objective for NEET as well as CET examinations. So the chapter is human reproduction. Already you have objective books, that is second PUC volume 4. In that book the exercise level 1 page number 69. The question number 1. The placenta is formed in humans by options 1. Amnion, 2. Allantois, 3. Korean, 4. All of the above. So let's know about these options first. Amnion. It is a membrane that closely covers the embryo when first formed. So that means the embryo is covered with a two membranes, embryonic membranes. So that is one is chorion and another one is the amnion. So amnion is the innermost embryonic membrane which is very close to the embryo, and it has a cavity and it filled with a fluid called as the amniotic fluid, and it helpful for protection of the developing embryo. And the second one is allantois. It is an extra embryonic membrane of reptiles, birds and mammals arising as a pouch. So this allantois serves as a temporary respiratory organ as well as it stores the fetal excretion. So that's why allantois acts as a respiratory as well as excretory function. And third one is chorion. It is the outermost membrane of the embryo, and in mammals as well as in birds and reptiles. And this chorion is involved in the formation of placenta. That's why human placenta is called as the chorion, hemochorial placenta we will call that. So that's why chorion is the answer. So answer is 3 for the first question. It is involved in the formation of placenta in humans. Question number 2. The first cleavage division of zygote takes place in. So options 1. Uterus, 2. Vagina, 3. Ovary, 4. Oviduct. So here uterus, it is a womb helpful for the development of embryo, and vagina, it is uterus opens out through a muscular chamber called as the vagina. Ovary are the primary sex organs in female, and which produces the ovum. So that ovum is collected into the duct, oviduct. It is also called as the fallopian tube. So now we are already know that zygote is the result of fertilization. So in female, the fertilization is takes place in ampullary isthmus junction. So after immediate fertilization, zygote is formed. Immediately the zygote undergoes the cleavage. So the cleavage, zygote is formed in fallopian tube. Immediately after formation, zygote is formed. So that's why the zygote undergo first cleavage division in fallopian tube or maybe oviduct. So answer is option 4. Question number 3. Uterus is options 1. External genitalia, 2. Primary sex organs, 3. Accessory glands, 4. Accessory ducts. So first of all, let's know about what are the parts comes under these options. So here external genitalia. So this external genitalia is also called as the vulva. So now the parts comes under that. That is mons pubis, labia majora, labia minora, and clitoris comes under this external genitalia. And the primary sex organs are the ovaries in females. And accessory glands in females are vestibular or Bartholin glands, as well as mammary glands are the accessory glands. Now accessory ducts are oviducts, uterus and vagina. So that's why uterus is a accessory duct in female reproductive system. So question number 4, match the following. That is column 1 and column 2. We need to match it. So here it is clearly given. By seeing this, we can identify that the matched words are given in the same color. So testis, uh, it is oval in shape. Infundibulum, it is a part of fallopian tube, and it is a funnel-like structure, and it has a finger-like projections called as the fimbriae. So now see, uterus, it is a inverted pear-like structure, and fimbriae, already we said, are the projections present on the margins of infundibulum is called as fimbriae, and it is a finger-like. And clitoris, it is also a finger-like. It is a part in external genitalia. So it is a finger-like structures formed by the fusion of that mons minora. So now the option, the correct option for this question, fourth question, is option 3. That is A is 2, B is 4, and C is 5, and D and E both are column 3. That is finger like structures. So here the option is the correct answer for this question is option 3 is the correct answer. Question number 5. During reproduction, the chromosome number becomes half and restored in the offsprings by options: 1. Gametogenesis and sporogenesis; 2. Fertilization and gametogenesis; 3. Gametogenesis and fertilization; 4. Parturition and fertilization. So first know the definitions of this terminology given in the options. So gametogenesis, formation of gametes, is called as gametogenesis. Sporogenesis, formation of spores, is called as sporogenesis. Fertilization, fusion of male and female gametes, is called fertilization. The fertilization is also equivalent to the syngamy. And parturition, that means giving birth to the child, is called as parturition. So these are the 4 words terminology we are finding in this option: gametogenesis, sporogenesis, fertilization, parturition. So in these 4, gametogenesis, sporogenesis, fertilization and parturition, among these 4, during reproduction, in which process chromosome number become half, and that number is restored, that means the original number is restored in offsprings, by which process, that we need to find. So now gametogenesis and sporogenesis. Here gametogenesis, formation of gametes, is required meiosis division. Meiosis division. Meiosis division is also called as reduction division. That means during gametogenesis, the chromosome number become half of their parental chromosomes, becomes half. Suppose for example, human male having 46 chromosomes. So during gamete formation, that is during formation of sperm consists only 23 chromosomes. That means reduced to half. So that's why gametogenesis. Then what about sporogenesis? Sporogenesis, formation of spores. So in higher plants, the sporogenesis required meiosis, and again chromosome number become half. But here the question is unrestored. But here sporogenesis cannot restore the original number of chromosomes. So here sporogenesis are also leads to the reduction in the chromosome number. So the sporogenesis in algae and fungi required mitotic division, but in plants the sporogenesis required meiosis division. Now come to this fertilization and gametogenesis. So fertilization, that means fusion of gamete, male gamete sperms having 23 chromosomes, and female gamete, that is ovum, having 23 chromosomes are fused together, and it restore the number of chromosomes. But here first word is tally to that chromosome number becomes half. Fertilization restores that chromosome number, so that's why here it is not correct. Gametogenesis is helpful for reducing the chromosome number, but here as per question the chromosome number becomes half by gametogenesis and restored by fertilization. That means first gametogenesis and next fertilization. So as per this, the correct option is 3. So the chromosome number becomes half, reduced to half during gamete formation, and they are restored, that means come to their original number of chromosomes in the offsprings after fertilization. Question number 6. Two offsprings develop in the same uterus from fertilization of two different ova are called options: 1. Monozygotic twins, 2. Dizygotic twins, 3. Fraternal twins, 4. Both dizygotic and fraternal twins. So let's know about the information of these words: monozygotic, dizygotic, and fraternal twins. So monozygotic twins, it is also called as identical twins. So the monozygotic twins result from the fertilization of a single ovum. Fertilization of a single ovum that split into two. So single ovum fertilizes with a single sperm, forms the zygote. That zygote splits into two, and identical twins share all their genes. So same zygote divides into two. That's why they show the same genes, as well as are also of the same sex. So that's why monozygotic twins are always similar in all aspects. Their identity as well as sex. Suppose monozygotic twins either females or maybe males both. Gender does not change in the monozygotic twins, because the monozygotic twins are originate from a single zygote. Zygote splits into two, and the two zygotes are developed into two individuals. And the second one is dizygotic twins. So dizygotic twins are also called as fraternal twins or non-identical twins or unidentical twins. So you may get the idea about that. That means the dizygotic twins results from the fusion of two ova by two separate sperms. That means two zygotes are formed separately. So that's why there is no sharing of genes, and there is they may have a same sex. That means both twins, uh, both individuals are male, or maybe both individuals are female, or maybe one male and one female, and these twins are not identical. So now the answer for this is both 2 and 3. That means dizygotic twins are also called as fraternal twins. That's why 2 and 3 both are correct for this question. Question number 7. In insect egg, cleavage is. So already we know that the cleavage is occurred after fertilization. Zygote is formed. Zygote undergoes to the cleavage. So these cleavages are different types. Here it is a holoblastic and meroblastic cleavages are mentioned in the options. So let's see the options. Equal holoblastic cleavage. 2. Unequal holoblastic cleavage. 3. Meroblastic superficial cleavage. 4. Meroblastic discoidal cleavage. So now here the cleavage is of two types, holoblastic and meroblastic cleavage. Now let's come to the holoblastic cleavage. The complete division of egg is called as the holoblastic. Completely divides into two. If it is divides into two equal halves, then it is called as the equal holoblastic. This we can observe in the human beings. Equal holoblastic cleavage we can observe in human beings. Unequal holoblastic, that means the complete division of an egg into two unequal, then it is called as unequal holoblastic. This we can observe in tunicates and sea urchins. And meroblastic superficial and meroblastic discoidal are the two categories under meroblastic cleavage. So meroblastic cleavage is incomplete division of an egg. So the egg is incompletely divides superficially in insects, and the egg is incomplete divides as a discoidal in fishes, reptiles and birds. So now here once again I am repeating, equal holoblastic occurs in human beings. Unequal holoblastic occurs in tunicate and sea urchins. Meroblastic superficial occurs in insect egg, and meroblastic discoidal occurs in fishes, reptiles and birds egg. So then for this question, the answer is option 3. So insect egg cleavage is meroblastic superficial. Eighth question. In which mammals testes remain in abdomen? Options: 1. Human, 2. Elephant, 3. Rabbit, 4. Ox. So in humans, testes are present in scrotum outside the abdomen. In elephant, the testis or remains in the abdomen. In elephant, scrotum is vestigial. That means in elephant, testes are not descend into the scrotum. Rabbit and ox, in these animals also the testes are present in the scrotum. So now the answer is elephant. In elephant, testes remain in abdomen. And again, the same question it may ask in another form also. Identify the odd one. Identify the odd one with respect to the testis. So here human, rabbit and ox, the testis is present in scrotum, but in elephant the testis remain in the abdomen. So among all these four, the testis in elephant is odd one because it is present in abdomen, and in remaining three animals it is present in scrotum. Question number 9. Sertoli cells occur in options: human testis, 2. Frog testis, 3. Human ovary, 4. Frog ovary. So let's know that the type of cells present in the testis. So testis having 250 compartments called as the testicular lobules. Each lobule consists seminiferous tubules. The seminiferous tubules inside the cells are lined with the Sertoli cells, and in interstitial space of the seminiferous tubules, outside that, same between the seminiferous tubules, the cells are called as the interstitial cells or Leydig cells. That means Sertoli cells and Leydig cells are present in the testis, that too in human testis, absent in frog testis. So the Sertoli cells never present in the ovary. Ovary is a female reproductive organ. Sertoli cells are present in male reproductive system. So here first and second options are testis, male reproductive organ. The Sertoli cells are present in human testis. The Sertoli cells are helpful for nourishment of sperms during development. So hence the answer is human testis are having Sertoli cells which are helpful for nourishing the sperms during development. Question number 10. Which of the following statements are wrong or incorrect statements? 1. Secondary follicles is characterized by a fluid filled cavity called antrum. Second, sperms are released from the seminiferous tubules by the process of spermiation. 3. Penis is the male external genitalium. 4. The secretions of bulbourethral glands or Cowper's glands help in the lubrication of penis. These are the statements. Among these statements, which statement is wrong one? So now secondary follicle is characterized by fluid filled cavity called antrum. So antrum is a fluid filled cavity. Up to here it is correct. But this antrum is present in tertiary follicles, not in secondary follicles. That's why the wrong statement is first one only. So option 1 is correct for this question. That is wrong statement in this 4 is first one. So spermiation, that is release of sperms from seminiferous tubules, is called as spermiation. Penis is external genitalia, and bulbourethral gland secretions are helpful for the lubrication of penis. These three statements are correct. Question number 11. Breaking of acrosome membrane is called options 1. Agglutination, 2. Activation, 3. Cavitation, 4. Capacitation. So let's know the definitions of these four words. Agglutination, breaking of acrosome membrane is called agglutination. Activation, the process of making something active is called activation. Cavitation, the formation of cavities or openings in the body is called cavitation. Capacitation, the change undergone by sperm in the female reproductive tract is called as capacitation. I am repeating again for this capacitation. The change undergone by sperm in the female reproductive tract is called capacitation. So now the answer is agglutination. Breaking of acrosome membrane is called agglutination. The acrosome is present in the sperm. Question number 12. In mammary gland, the function of male secretion and storage is done by. So here this question is a skill type of question, that is the diagram is given in this question. So in that diagram, the labeling is given by a letter, that is A, B, C, D, or we need to find out that labeling. So in that labeling, A is a mammary lobe, B is a mammary alveolus, C is mammary duct, and D is mammary ampulla. So in these four parts, which part acts as function of milk secretion? So which part is responsible for milk secretion and storage in mammary gland? So we are already well known that the structural and functional unit of mammary gland is alveolus or alveoli. Alveolus is the singular, alveoli. So mammary alveolus or alveoli are the responsible for milk secretion and storage. Hence, they are called as the structural and functional unit of mammary gland. So now the answer, correct answer for this question is option 3. Question number 13. Which structure have fleshy folds of tissue which extends down from the mons pubis and surrounding the vaginal opening? Options: 1. Labia majora, 2. Labia minora, 3. Hymen, 4. Clitoris. Among these four parts, which part have fleshy folds of tissue and which extends down from the mons pubis and surrounds the vaginal opening? So now let's know the description of these four parts. So labia majora, fleshy folds extended down from the mons pubis and surround the vaginal opening. Labia minora, paired folds of tissue under the labia majora. Hymen, a thin membrane that partially covers the vaginal opening. Clitoris, a small, a finger-like erectile body situated in the anterior part of vulva is called clitoris. So now, as per question, the structure have fleshy folds of tissue and extend down from the mons pubis and surrounds the vaginal opening is labia majora. Option 1 is correct. Question number 14. Non-cladoic eggs occur in options: 1. Birds, 2. Fish, 3. Reptiles, 4. Platypus. So non-cladoic eggs. Let's know the definition of cladoic eggs first. So cladoic egg, an egg that is enclosed by a shell which isolate the egg from outside environment and prevent the loss of moisture. Such eggs are called as cladoic egg. Simply we can say that egg which covered by a shell is called as cladoic egg. So non-cladoic egg means which is not covered by a shell is called as non-cladoic egg. So now this non-cladoic eggs occur in the if fishes do not have shell on their eggs. The fish egg is not covered with a shell. Hence, the eggs are called as non-cladoic eggs. Birds, reptiles, and platypus. In these animals, the eggs are covered with a shell, cladoic eggs. So, in this birds belongs to the class Aves, and reptiles, it is one of the class invertebrate. And platypus belongs to the class mammals. Platypus, Dactylis platypus. It is a mammal, egg-laying mammal it is. So in these three, birds, reptiles and platypus, the eggs are covered by a shell. Hence they are called as cleidoic eggs. But in fishes, the egg is not covered with a shell. Hence the eggs are considered as non-cleidoic egg. Question number 15. Development of which triad freed land vertebrates from water? I'm repeating the question again. Development of which triad? Triad means character. Freed means release land vertebrates from water. So options 1, 4 appendages, 2, 4 chambered heart, 3 cleidoic egg, 4 lungs. So in this which one is responsible for the development of land vertebrates from the water? So that is option is cleidoic egg. That means eggs are covered with a shell. That character is released the land vertebrates from the, or separates that land vertebrates from the aquatic vertebrates. So land vertebrates are also having the 4 appendages, and land vertebrates are also having the 4 chambered heart, and aquatic vertebrates also having that 4 chambered heart and 4 appendages. Lungs are also present in aquatic vertebrates. But cleidoic eggs, that character we can found in land vertebrates or terrestrial vertebrates. Thank you, students. We will continue the remaining bits in the next part.